Welcome aboard, everybody. This is your pilot wannabe. Uh, having a having a strange time flying today. The simulator's not working so good in the Xbox, but we're gonna go anyway, and we're gonna take this plane because it's one of the few planes I'm interested in flying that is actually working properly. I'll insert a little video of my plane selection process right about here. And even with this plane seeming to function properly, the sound is kind of messed up. I took it for a little flight to make sure everything was working and discovered that the ATC, which already blows, is now doing this. So, we're gonna make this short little flight, and we'll talk about the flight plan and then the plane like usual, and we'll try to get it all done in one video today. My goal would be to get it done in under an hour, but you know, that doesn't usually pay off. So, see you on the other side. Alright, here we are in Sky Vector. And yeah, we're doing another leg of the lower 48 caps. I mean, there's a lot of legs to do. But then also it's short, and I can't, fly the Learjet to do the round the world thing or do the 310 or the 414 for I found this plane for sale and flying it home. So this is pretty much where we're at. So we're going from Concord Municipal in Concord, New Hampshire, to Augusta State. Yeah, Augusta State Airport in Augusta, Maine. I've certainly learned a lot about the capitals these days, trying to figure out the capital of each state because it's not always so obvious. Let's see. Augusta State Airport is at about the same altitude we're at now, about the same elevation we're at taking off from. So 351. Here's the weather, but I'm not going to bother putting that in the screwy ATC because it's going to sound like a very, very slow, bored demon talking to me. So we're not going to bother with that. Let's see, we've got a couple of runways. One of them, I'm not really sure what the landing distance is for this plane, but I feel like it might be less than that. So we're probably going to try to stick with runway 17 and 35 because it's 5,000 feet long. Maybe we'll come back and consult the true heading of the runway. Let's see, 153 and 333. Ooh, 333. That would be easy to remember if we're using that runway. Yeah, I'll just be checking the weather with my phone while we're en route and making our landing decisions based on that. It's got an ILS and a couple of RNAVs, so that's good. I think the weather's okay anyway. Let's take a quick gander at the weather. There's a little weather at the destination. It looks like. Yeah. We might have to do an ILS, which I've never done with this plane, with the way the simulator's currently running. Yeah, turbulence too. Yeah. Well, who knows? You know, I'm not a real pilot, and this is all fake. So let's just do it and see what happens. Okay. See you on the ground by the plane. All right. Here we are at the DA50, and I have just now completely drawn a blank on the name of the developer that came out with this plane. Completely blank. It's not like a developer that I've heard much of or gotten a lot of planes from or anything. So I guess I could look it up. Hang on just a second. Okay, Skyward Simulations. I kind of thought I had simulations in the name, but that doesn't exactly narrow it down with software developers. But Skyward Simulations made this Diamond DA50 RG. I kind of feel like the RG designation for retractable gear is a bit superfluous, considering there's not a fixed gear DA50. I guess Diamond, when they were first developing the DA50, were envisioning it being a fixed gear plane, and then changed their mind at some point. I mean, they started developing it like a long time ago, but it only just recently came to North America. Um, for whatever reason, I really like this plane in this all white livery. I mean, it's technically, I guess, a lack of a livery, but I like it in the all white for some odd reason. They were making kind of a big deal when it was coming to North America. They were making a big deal touring around with this one that was mostly black livery, and they were calling it the Black Knight. But we're going to call this one the White Knight because it's all white, and it's my White Knight because it's the only plane I can fly that I want to fly right now. So it saved me. It allowed me to make a video today. Hopefully, we'll see if nothing goes terribly wrong all the way there. But I think it's really neat looking plane. People, it's subjective, I guess, but it's very aggressive looking. I like this long nose and just the arrangement of the intakes and the coolers down there, down in this area, some kind of radiators. Yeah, I like how aggressive it looks. If it wasn't for the V-tail Beechcraft Bonanza, I'd feel like this was maybe the best looking GA single engine plane. It's something about it. It's pretty cool. But if we're gonna get this show on the road, I better simulate climbing in. We'll get right up here close. I think that's where I left the inside camera. This is another plane where the inside camera. This is actually the internal camera. The internal camera is can just go right through the windows and walls. It's a intangible internal camera. And that's why I'm going to open the door from there. On the this back door does open too, although since the simulator feels I'm on the inside, I have to use the inside switch, or inside lever, which is around here somewhere. Okay, fine. We'll get closer to it. And yeah, there it is. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, a lot of space in here. It's supposed to be a 5 passenger, hence the 5 and the 50. Uh, if they ever make a twin engine one of these, I'm assuming they'll call it a DA52. I don't know. They wouldn't do that because that's kind of the role that the DA62 fills. But yeah, it seems like a pretty cool plane. I mean, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't necessarily buy one of these, but if somebody gave me one, I would keep it. You know, after I actually got my pilot's license. Anywho, let's slide down in here. And one of the biggest complaints, we'll go ahead and close the door, so I don't have to think about it later. One of the biggest complaints people seem to have about this plane in the simulator, anyway, is this enormous bit of, airplane that is blocking your view. It doesn't bother me for some reason. Something about it, it feels like cozy to me. And plus, legitimately, you don't often, at least I've found in the simulator, I don't often need to see what is precisely off that way. It's nice to see what's over this way. Like if you're on a downwind, it's nice to see the airport, the runway, looking off that way. When you're coming in for a landing, looking straight ahead over that long nose, everything's fine. I don't really need to see over here. It doesn't bother me. It feels cozy. It feels like I'm in a fighter or something. There's not an extensive checklist for this. It's funny. I'm gonna just start getting it fired up here if I remember where I left all my buttons. Yep, there's the main power. Oh, we should probably engage the parking brake. Parking brake. It's very much like a SUV or something. It's just this little electronic switch down here. There's the parking brake. Very odd. Make sure the throttle's attached. Oh yeah, there's the cow flap switch. Cowl, not cow flap. No, cow flap. Anyway, let's see. I'll get it fired up and we'll talk more about the what I was going to talk about. I was going to compare this to the DA42 from cows, as a matter of fact, ironically speaking. I didn't do that on purpose. Anyway, so I've got the main power on. The alternators seem to be on by default and don't seem to respond to my my switch binding anyway. So the hell with them. I do have a switch bound for the engine master. So we got to wait for the glow plug light to go off because this is a turbocharged diesel engine. It went off, and I'm going to hold the brakes and hit the starter. And she comes alive because it's a magic plane, Things aren't going to go wrong with this plane so much. Obviously you can crash into something, but I don't think it's going to have random failures. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it's not going to have random failures. I mean, this one doesn't have the circuit breakers modeled or anything like that. It doesn't have the cool checklist button that the DA42, so you can see it faded out there where it says checklist. The DA42, you can hit that. You have this nice extensive checklist you can run through. This has got nothing. It doesn't even have a checklist built in to the sim. I think I maybe did download a checklist from the developer or something. I don't know. I feel like I have a checklist. I'm not going to use a checklist. We're just going to get going. Oh, I should have turned a light on. Let's turn on the I'll turn on the nav and taxi light. Whoa, that Citation Mustang that was levitating there just kind of about went right through us. Anyway, I got a couple of lights on, which I should have done before I fired up the engine to warn people. But the people here are intangible as well, so I'm not that worried about them. Let's turn on the avionics master. I guess I can let go of the brakes. Yeah, I need to plug in a flight plan, but let's see. When I had checked the weather earlier, it said 3015. Actually, if I'd let it play long enough, it was going to say like 3015 or even slower than that and weirder sounding, although that probably was pretty weird. 3015. Okay, was that noise in the simulator or here in real life? I couldn't tell. That almost sounded like a distant foghorn. I don't know. If it was here in real life, you guys are not going to know what I'm talking about. There's some other weird sounds happening. Like, for instance, when I brought up this beeping noise. I swear I never heard this noise when I'm hovering over things before. And I make a choice and it makes a little ding ding noise. Yeah. That's all new. They did something and really screwed up the sound in the simulator, among other things. Anyway, oh yeah, I need to lay in the flight plan. I won't bore you guys with all my all my turning of the knob here. Why is it? Oh, yeah. That always screws me up for a second. Yeah, okay. I'll go ahead and pause the recording and I'll get the flight plan laid in and I'll be right back with you. See you in a second. All right, gang, I'm back. Got it all laid in. Is there anything else we're gonna do? We are gonna do the little run-up thing when we get over to the runway. Obviously, I'm even less inclined to use the ATC than normal today. So, oh, parking brake was released already anyway. I guess because I used the what do you call it? Drone camera. I remember using the drone camera since setting the parking brake down. That's odd. Alrighty. Let's see. What's the temperature outside? It's about 20 degrees Celsius. That's warmish. We'll leave this in cold. We don't have anything that I'm aware of indicating the actual in-cabin temperature. We can't really play the cabin temperature minigame, which is a shame because they gave you all these controls here. We'll make it come out the floor and the face. We'll turn the blower on. We'll get fresh air. Sure, that all seems reasonable. Let's see. Elevator trim is set to takeoff position because it's always going to be by default. Assuming this thing has got what do you call it? Trim, rudder trim somewhere. Huh. Yeah, the 42 and the 62 have a rudder trim dial in this area. I would have really thought there'd be rudder trim in this thing somewhere. I don't know. Maybe I'll look around for it some later. I mean, it's got some interesting features. Yeah, I'm assuming you can do the manual gear thing, although, it's not like you can pull the circuit breaker. Most of the time to do the manual gear, you're supposed to pull the circuit breaker. It's got alternate air. It's weird. This plane's kind of a weird mix of like they kind of wanted to be like the big boys that have a lot of systems depth, a lot of detail in how the plane functions, but then also not quite. So, and I think the engine sound might be a little bit off. Besides the ATC sound, that sounds like it's in too low of a register, and we're hearing the individual propeller blades chopping through the air. So the sound is definitely messed up, but we're gonna go anyway. And speaking of sound, this one does in fact have a headset simulation. Noise canceling headset simulation when you click on where you plug in the headsets down here. So that's kind of cool. We'll probably use that since the sound is screwed up anyway. We're going to be taking off from runway 35 here at where are we at? Concord? Yeah, we're going to take off from runway 35 and we're actually going to be landing on runway 35 at Augusta State Airport also. I looked at the weather. It's 3013 on the barometric pressure there for the altimeter, and the wind is pretty close to I forget what the exact direction of the wind was, but pretty close to it. It was pretty obvious that runway 35 is going to be the way to go. So that's what we're going to do. I don't even know how long it's going to take. I don't really know how fast this plane is. I mean, it was probably on the, I could have plugged in the cruise speed and all that on the SkyVector page, but I didn't even do that. I kind of left it. I think I left it on like its default stuff. I don't know. This thing cruises like 160 or something, if I'm remembering right. We'll find out. We'll find out what it legitimately is going to cruise at when we get airborne. We should probably do a notch of flaps while I'm thinking about it. I mean, the one notch down is actually even labeled TO, takeoff, so I'm assuming you're really supposed to use it when you're taking off. This plane has a little bit of a beta setting on the throttle there, if you noticed just then before I almost drove off in the grass. But I guess it doesn't reverse the angle of the propeller blades, but I guess it nearly nearly flattens them out, so it can really almost act as an air brake in midair if you jam the throttle all the way back. I think the DA42 from KAUG does that also, but a little bit more automatically. I guess when you, if I understand correctly, when you just pull the throttle all the way down to idle in the DA42, it'll go into that beta-esque setting where it flattens the propeller blades and slows you down. This one actually has a notch below idle that I had to bind uh, to the notch below idle on my Honeycomb Bravo, and it actually works. One of the few that actually will make the throttle go into that notch. So that's kind of nice. Oh yeah, and then also, like the DA42 from KAUG, this has the making the 3 settings on the seatbelt buckle to make it to where you can see your co-pilot in the plane or outside the plane or not see them at all, and then you can make the pilot. See, I clicked it once. Now the pilot's visible from the outside. If I click it again, he's visible from the inside, which is still super weird. I mean, at least I can't see him because I moved where the stock camera is, so that's probably why. Oh, no, I am inside of his head because look, there's an ear and oh, some hair and a hat. Yeah, this is just wrong. Let's get rid of it. We'll just make him visible from the outside. And oh, here I'll rev the engine up a little bit, make some noise, and we'll hit the. See, there we go. That's nice. The engine sounds wrong right now anyway, so we'll just leave that headset thing on. I'll try to remember to turn it off later. Yeah, let's do a little bit of a run up here, but actually first I'm just gonna turn all the lights on so I don't have to forget about it, or don't have to forget about it, so I don't forget about it. Let's switch the transponder to altitude reporting. We'll leave it at, should be set to 1200, right? Yeah, 1200. We could set an altitude preset. Let's see. Let's just make it 7,500 feet. We're not going very far. Not going far. 7,500 feet. I'll worry about picking a specific rate of climb once we're actually climbing. So, like the DA42, you can do a couple little tests of the FADEC system, the full authority digital engine control system, except you're only doing it with one engine here. For whatever reason, instead of A, auto, and B setting on the computer, you only have auto and B. So I would imagine that you switch it to B and make sure the engine in fact stays running. And sure enough, it did. And then you hold the test button and let it run through all of its testing, the propeller angle and all that other stuff. So you just kind of wait for it to be all done while you hold the button down. Revs up and revs down and does all this and all that, but it's never going to break because it's a magic airplane. We're just doing this to try to feel a little bit immersed in the simulator. Although it's been tough today. Okay, well that's about it. So everything is hunky dory. Of course, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the pitot and stall heat, which I'll get an alarm coming back again about the stall heat until I leave the ground, till I'm assuming the weight comes off the landing gear. Oh, it just won't go away. I thought I could push that and make it go away. Guess not. All right, let's run that back out again. Yeah, we're definitely departing out to the east, but I'm not gonna bother using the trying to say anything on the ATC. Well, okay, just for funsies, we'll toot in the traffic. See, it's making this noise. I'm not used to this noise, this clicky noise. Select a runway for takeoff. Taking off on 35, and we're gonna be departing to the east. And yeah, here it is. Yeah, I don't sound well. I definitely think maybe an exorcism or something is in order. Anyway, yeah, I realize now I have no way to stop that. I can change the frequency when I don't want to hear what's being said on the ATC, but when I've chosen to say it, there's no way to stop it that I'm aware of. Okay. Let's see, we got notch flaps, trims in the right place, all the lights are on. Yeah, okay, let's just go. Again, I don't know what the rotate speed is or anything on this. We'll just take off whenever it starts feeling a little light on the wheels, or it feels like I'm going too fast, whichever comes first. Okay, rolling the power on. Yeah, the audio doesn't sound right. The audio is definitely messed up. Giving it a lot of right rudder here. Oh, we gotta be in the takeoff area. Yeah. Yeah, she's coming up. Okay, positive rate of climb. I'm tapping the brakes and raising the landing gear. Wow, that headset thing even cuts out the sound of the landing gear coming up. Creepy. I assume the landing gear's up. Didn't hear much. Let's see. When we get about 500 feet off the ground, I'm gonna raise the flaps too and turn on the course. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Flaps come. What was that? That was a strange sound. I feel like the airplane talked to me when I raised the flaps in a demon voice. Okay, turning on the course and reducing the throttle. I think we'll go for 90%. I think you theoretically can run 92% in the climb or whatever, but I feel like if I own this plane, or if someone gave me this plane, I'd probably be like, yeah, 90% is fine for a climb. We don't need to push the engine all the time. I probably was supposed to turn on the fuel pumps, I bet. Or, I'm sorry, pump, singular. Yeah, I was probably supposed to turn on the one singular fuel pump for the takeoff. Maybe I'll remember to turn it on for the landing. It's not like it's really gonna matter in the magic simulated airplane. This plane's kind of nice to fly, though. Something about it. It's for being a completely different developer than KAUG that made the 42. For being a completely different developer and not going for nearly the same level of detail, they managed to make a plane that still feels like it's in the same family. And I think I'm gonna do a little autopilot now, though. Okay, autopilot. Let's see, we can do the climb over here, if I remember what buttons. I thought it would display. Oh, maybe I need to hit vertical speed first. Vertical speed. There we go. Now it's displaying. Picking 500 feet per minute on the vertical speed. When we get a little closer to the magenta line, I will hit nav, although I'll probably hit nav on my physical button. Yeah, close enough. Gonna hit nav now. There we go. And looks like she's gonna grab the magenta. But that sound being at a lower register than what it's supposed to be makes it feel like we're going even slower than we really are. I mean, been flying the Duke, which has been climbing, climbing at 1,000+ feet per minute at like 160 knots over the ground or something like that. So what's our ground speed? If I remember how to find it on the G1000s, 135 is our ground speed. Wind is not a headwind, so there's that. Not much wind at all, one knot, but also not on the nose. So yeah, that's about as good as it's going to get. 135 on the climb. So yeah, like I said, if I, somebody gave me this plane, sure, I'd fly it, but not on my list of lottery purchases. This particular plane, I'd be a lot more apt to get a DA40 too. Uh, in spite of this visibility issue not bothering me that much, the DA42's got really great visibility, and I just find twin engine planes to be a little sexier than single engines, no matter how cool looking this single engine might be. Ooh, there's some clouds up there. That wasn't in my game plan for a simulated VFR flight. Clouds. We'll have to try to either get above them or below them. It looks like we'd have to level off any time now to be below them, doesn't it? Or, considering this is a sim, we might just blast right through them and not really care. Yeah, we'll decide when we get a little closer. Okay, let's see. I might go ahead and pause the recording and get back with you guys in the cruise somewhere after I've decided what to do with those clouds and we've reached some kind of an altitude I'm happy with. Sound like a plan? All right. See you in a second. All right, everybody. I decided to suddenly change and pretend we're doing an IFR flight at only 7,000 feet. So I set it to level us off at 7,000 feet, and I made up a new transponder code as if we're on an IFR. And I got some outside beauty shots for the thumbnail, and I don't know, maybe a short. I haven't gotten really a great idea for a short based on this flight yet. We'll see. Unless I make it, all the ATC talking all strangely, but I don't know. Anyway, so we're flying along almost through the tops of these clouds. I suppose if I'd, wanted to fly up at 9,500, we probably would have been well above these clouds and could have stayed VFR, but I don't know. That seemed excessive for this short of a flight. Because, let's see, we're almost to the first waypoint, and we've only got that far to go. So, I'm really winging this one. I didn't look at the fuel or loadout screen, to pick weights or luggage or anything like that. And, I guess I should bring the throttle back since we're leveled off here. Stand by. Let's go for 88%. Seems good. Anyway, it took me a minute to remember the fuel. This is a single engine plane. So right now we're only drawing fuel out of the left tank. That's why it's going down and the right tank is staying up. I don't know at what level of imbalance you're supposed to do this, but this one, instead of switching to the other tank, you use this pump over here to pump fuel from the right tank into the left tank. It's super weird. It does have a fuel switch down here that says normal or emergency or off. I frankly don't know what emergency does. Maybe we'll try it sometime if we're flying this plane again, but I don't feel like it right now. So that's where we're at. We've got a 10 knot almost tailwind now, which is nice. It's now we're leveled off. Got a ground speed of 171. That's not terrible. No idea how long it'll take us to get there, because the G1000s don't like to give you the time till destination the way the GTN 750 does. Let's see. Also, does the miles count down, or is this the oops? Oh, I'm doing stuff. Oh well, clear. Okay, stop that. Trying to scroll down. Anyway, 25.7. Yeah, it looks like it gives you the mileage between each thing. So we've got just over 40 miles to go to the second waypoint because we just hit the first one. Just over 40 nautical miles to go to the second waypoint, and then 25 miles to go after that. So that's what 65-ish nautical miles, and we're going about 100 knots faster than that. So I guess it's only like 20 minutes or something like that, isn't it? 20, 25 minutes maybe on the outside. Yeah. So that's not too bad. We are hammering through the clouds. We don't know what sort of weather we got on the other end. Maybe we should investigate what the ILS. I think there was an ILS for 3.5, wasn't there? Let's investigate what the ILS looks like. Procedures. Of course, on here it's not really going to show us what it looks like. Select approach. Enter. Oh, the ILS is for 1.7. But there's an RNAV for 3.5. Oh, this looks very strange. RNAV for 3.5, sure. Okay, fine. Let's look over back at the Sky Vector page for a sec and look at the RNAV for 3.5. There we go. Oh, it's so tiny on here. Let's see, we're going to be coming from this way-ish. So we don't want to hit whatever this is over here. Probably be better to hit this one. Jalme. Jalme. Is Jalme a choice on the G1000? Let's go see. Yeah, Jalme is a choice. Jalme. So we might just hit that when we're a little closer to the second waypoint, or like right after we hit the second waypoint. We might load this up. Because, yeah, look, it'll bring us over here. Nice gentle turn, and then straight into 3.5. Yeah, that sounds good. We'll do that. All right, clear, clear, clear. Go away. Go away, you bother me. Beat it. Scram. Man, it's hard to get rid of this stuff. What if I hit flight plan? And then hit flight plan again. I got rid of it. Nice. Oh, look, there's traffic on here. There's another plane out there. If I'm reading this correctly, 2,000 feet under us. This guy's 4,100 feet under us. This guy's 20,000 feet over us? I don't know. I guess I don't know how to read that. Yeah, because they can't be minus 10 or minus 21. Maybe I should watch some videos about how this works sometime. Anyway, we're still plugging along through the clouds. Oh, engine temperatures, are controlled by the computer, but there is cowl flaps. So I feel like since we're at cruise, we should probably close the cowl flaps, or maybe you only close them when you're descending. I don't know. I mean, the temperatures are definitely not on the low side. Oil temperature, coolant temperature. Yeah, they're not on the low side. Let's here, let's just test and see if my knob will work where it's just a open closed proposition. Let's see. Wow, that made a weird noise. What is that weird noise? It was as soon as I turned the knob to close the cowl flaps. It started making that weird noise. I'm not... oh, crap. We're turning. Why are we turning? What the heck is going on here? I am stumped. I'm gonna hit heading. Oh, did the autopilot disengage? Yeah, the autopilot disengaged. That boo boo noise was what would be normally much more high pitched sound of the autopilot disengaging, but I didn't recognize it because, it was super low. Okay, so I shouldn't turn that knob anymore. Now we know that it for whatever reason disengaged the autopilot. It didn't just disengage the autopilot; it made the plane want to go somewhere else entirely, which is really strange. We'll try to get back over to the magenta, and when we go to descend, I'll just manually use the mouse to flip the cowl flaps closed, because that was not worth all that trouble. Yep. Yeah, I could have flown the Duke again today, I guess, but I feel like making videos with the same plane over and over again is not a recipe for success per se. Not that I'm all about trying to get views or anything like that. If I was, I would be sorely disappointed. I'm hearing a beeping noise again, or like a foghorn noise. Okay, if I'm reading this correctly, the autopilot's still on. I don't have any alerts. Yeah, AP, yaw damper. Huh. I never did manually turn the yaw damper on. It must come on with the autopilot. Is it something I can turn on and off? I'm trying to remember what button I assigned it to. Gotta be careful hitting buttons. The plane's gonna go crazy again. Oh no, that button's turning on the dome light. Okay, it's not that button. Let's hit the nav button though, so we can catch the magenta. Always important to catch the magenta. Okay, what button did I make? Did I make the damper this button? No, that didn't do anything either. I hit it again just in case. Okay. Is it possible to disengage the damper in mid-flight? I thought there would be a separate yaw damper button. Am I just not seeing it? Crouch back course, nose up, vertical speed, flight level change, nose down. Yeah, I'm not seeing a yaw damper button. Alright, we're gonna ignore that. We're gonna forget about the yaw damper. We're on course. Everything's fine. We've got 19 miles to go to the second waypoint. And we'll be there in 6.5 minutes. So with 19 miles to go, 19 miles is only going to be 6.5 minutes. Then this 25 miles is only going to be about 10 minutes. And we've got, let's see, we've got about 10 minutes of descent that we would need to do. Of course, I don't know what altitude we'll need to be at. I have to go back and look at the our nav for 17, or no, I'm sorry, 35. Yeah, for 35. Yeah, what altitude are we supposed to be at when we get down to this? $2,000 feet, 3,000 feet, 3,000 feet, 3,000 feet. So we'll only have 4,000. We'll only have what, 8 minutes of descent that we need to do. So yeah, so we've got time to worry about the descent after this next checkpoint. We don't need to start descending before. We're just not that high. All right. How many more minutes? Yeah, 5.5 minutes. Okay, I'll go ahead and pause the recording again, save a little time, and I'll get with you when we hit that second checkpoint and engage the RNAV approach and start descending and all that fun stuff. See you in a minute. Alright, gang, we're less than 30 seconds from that second checkpoint. I turned the headset simulated headset noise canceling off because it just felt kind of disconnected. It was too quiet. I know the sound is wrong, but I feel more connected this way. Also, we're hitting the checkpoint right now. We're successfully turning. Also, I turned the fuel transfer switch on, and I'm hoping that I remember to turn it off. I want to get the left tank, to have a few more gallons in it than the right tank so I don't have to think about it again, hopefully. But I'm afraid I'm going to forget, and, it's got this little flashing light, so hopefully it reminds me. Oh, yeah, let's do that approach. Let's put that approach in, because things are looking crappy. So, select approach. It was RNAV for 3.5. It was Jalme. And then let's activate. Enter. That should do it. Oh my god, I keep doing stuff like this. These G1000s, I'm not crazy. Not overly crazy, but good enough. Zoom it down a little bit. Oh, yeah, okay, there's Xiaomi, and there we hook around. Oh, we need to get down to 3,000 feet also. Okay, so we'll make it faster and turn it down with this. But I'll hit vertical speed and 500 feet per minute. Is that going to be right? Because that's going to be 8 minutes. We've only got 3.5 minutes. Okay, we're going to have to go down faster. Alright, let's back the throttle off. We'll try 70%-ish, close enough. And we'll close the cowl flaps. I mean, if there's any other time you'd close the cowl flaps, I don't know what it would be, considering this is a water-cooled engine and all computer-controlled. The fact that we have control over the cowl flaps would lead me to believe that it's only for descents, I would assume. Okay, we'll see if we get down to 3,000 feet. Technically, the approach said you needed to be down to 3,000 feet by the time you hit this one. So that means, yeah, look, we're going to be at 3,000 feet between both of these unpronounceable waypoints. So that should be good. We need to back the throttle off a little more. Yeah, maybe closer to 60%. And I should probably turn the fuel transfer off because it's pretty different now. So, boom. Okay, fuel transfer pump is off. Yeah, we've got significantly more fuel in the left tank than the right tank, like at least 5 gallons, maybe 6 gallons. So, yeah, that should be fine, right? We probably won't burn that up. Yeah, fuel flow right now is 10 gallons per hour, so we're certainly not going to burn up 6 gallons or more in the time between now and when we land. So that's only just a few minutes. Yeah, weather's not great on the East Coast today in New England, huh? Not exactly ideal for flying, but we'll make it work. Wow, her hair looks sparkly. Yeah, there's definitely some things wrong with the simulator today. Definitely some things wrong. I hope they fix it and, get some decent flying in before 2024, before Flight Simulator 2024 comes out, because, there's some things I want to do before we move to the new simulator. Which, by the way, I've decided I'm probably not going to always go through the whole thing of calling it Flight Simulator 2024. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Back in the day, when I was under 30 years old, and it was the previous century, we didn't say 19 in front of the year all of the time. Like if in about 1995, if somebody asked me when I graduated high school, I'd be like, oh, I graduated in '89. I wouldn't necessarily say 1989. So I think we're far enough into the century now that we can start dropping the 20 and just saying 24. So I say we all say Microsoft Flight Simulator 24 or just Flight Simulator 24 and stop with all this 20 business. And the whole also a whole other can of worms is people saying 2000 versus 20. For whatever reason, I feel like 2000 through 2009, it sounds fine to me to say 2000. But after 2010, I feel like you need to start saying 20 because, like right now, this year, I'll hear people say, oh, 2024. And I want to ask them, what year was it 100 years ago? Was it 1924? No, it was 1924. So right now it's 2024. Anyway, enough of my griping. We're down into the approach pattern now, which is interesting. Oh, I wonder what our landing gear speed is. It seems like it's pretty high. Flap speeds aren't terribly high, but I feel like the landing gear extension speed is high. Oh, 162 if I'm reading that right. Yeah, 162 indicated. So yeah, we're below gear speed. Good to know. Might have to give it a little throttle actually to keep us from getting unnecessarily slow. Okay, yeah, we're turning. Never mind. I'll just let's deploy the landing gear. And turn on the landing and taxi lights. Yeah, we're already well into the pattern here, huh? I guess I'll wait till we're straightened out to look for the runway. I should probably hit the approach button pretty soon too. I'm always a little foggy on that. At what point you're supposed to hit the approach button. I'm a little foggy on. Yeah, it's probably clear enough. We could have done a visual, but that's all right. The RNAV will just take us right down to it. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, we already got a visual on the runway. Let's hit the approach button now and see if anything happens. It says glide path right there. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and look at the approach plate real quick. Give me a second here. Yeah, we should have been descending already by the looks of it. So, as usual, I screwed something up. So, let's disengage the autopilot. Oh, what a terrible noise that is. And we'll trim the nose down. Yeah, so set up to behind fast. I know you're surprised. Yeah, let's descend at least 500 feet per minute. I have no idea where the actual glide slope is, but, you know, I'm certain it's below us. Gonna turn the flight director off, too, to get all that junk out of my face, and I get another beep. Of course. Yeah, I was really hoping that the approach would take us right on down to the runway, but I guess I needed to hit the approach button before we made that turn, because the descent was right at that 90-degree turn we made over here. Yeah, that's when the descent was supposed to start taking place. Yeah, that's what you get for not really being prepared. I need to trim the nose down a little more. Let's see, how we doing? Yeah, we're getting blown off course a bit. I think the wind is going to be coming from left slightly, so. I wonder if my fuel pump switch will work. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the fuel pump now, so I don't have to think about it anymore. Yeah, it works. Yeah, emergency fuel pump. Not all that comfortable with the word emergency, but yeah. Fuel pump's working. Yes, I'm pretty happy with this. I don't know what the approach speed's really supposed to be. We're right about at the white arc. See, we're at 1,900 feet, and we're hitting that next checkpoint. What altitude were we supposed to be at there? 2,000 feet. We were just a smidge below that, so I guess we're not doing too terribly bad. I mean, you're not supposed to be below the thing with the, where it has an underline under the altitude, and that's the lowest you're supposed to be. So theoretically, we were in violation. But as far as me actually making a halfway decent landing, I wasn't too bad. Okay, now I felt like we were descending a little too aggressive. Look at that, well, for a second there it said it had two white and two red, which meant I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be on the glide path, or supposedly. That's what it means. Yep. Ooh, after flying the Duke so much, this plane feels a little slow. Although, in reality, this is probably a much easier plane to fly. Like if I was on a little island, a little volcanic island, and the volcano was erupting, and everyone had already taken off in all the boats, and all the pilots were gone, and there was a Duke sitting there, and a Diamond DA50 sitting there. Yeah, I'd jump in the DA50 because a little less complicated. Let's go for the first notch of flaps. Actually, what are our flap speeds? Yeah, I'm gonna go all the way to the landing flaps because now we're high. I just had to go ahead and turn it around and make it high and fast, didn't I? We can get down there though. Yeah, we're under 100 knots. I could always put the throttle back into that beta setting. Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. Ooh, wow. Oh, it does slow you down dramatically. Okay, popping it back up into idle. Because, yeah, that was abrupt. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that probably. Because, wow. Oh, well, and then I got a freeze frame there for a second. Okay, pulling back to normal idle now. Not the smoothest landing ever, but certainly not the worst. Okay, hitting the brakes, bringing up the flaps, and exiting stage right. It looks like it might be parking off that way, huh? Go over there and investigate after I do some stuff. Okay, let's turn off the pitot heat so it stops flashing at me. Well, it didn't really stop it. I had to stop it. Let's switch the transponder to standby. Let's turn the strobe lights off and the landing lights off. Might as well turn off the panel lights too. I turned on some panel lighting because it was kind of dark in those clouds. Turn off the emergency fuel pump. I think that's all I need to do. Let's pop a window open so it need a little more sound. Seems just a little disconnected with the way the sound is messed up on the simulator today. Yeah, the engine sounds definitely wrong. It sounds more like a helicopter at a distance instead of a airplane propeller a few feet in front of us. Now this is another runway over here. How do we get to the parking over there? Oh, it looks like we can cross right here. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be just fine. I wonder how long this video is. I'll find out here in a few minutes when I go to edit it. Oh, look, there's even some jokers waiting for us to park over there. We'll just head right for those guys. Yeah, let's see if he starts waving me in here. Oh, yeah, he's facing this way, isn't he? He's just not interested in waving me in, though. That's okay. We'll still park here anyway. Hey, peeps. All right. Parking brake. Engine is at idle. We can start killing stuff here. Let's leave the nav lights on. All the other lights off. Might even just open the door. We'll see if the door slams shut when I kill the engine. Let's turn on. What else can we turn off here? We can turn off the avionics master. Right? I don't want to turn off the master yet. Master. The master blaster. Yeah, there's nothing else really to do except kill the engine. Okay. Gonna turn off the engine master switch now. Which should kill the engine. Hey, you didn't slam the door shut. That's nice. And now we'll kill the master battery switch. And we'll hop out and have us a brief debrief. A bit of a brief debrief. Okay, pretending to get out. Now I'll just stay in this camera mode. Why not? So there you have it. The Skyward Simulations Diamond DA50. It's kind of a cool plane. And I don't remember how much it cost. I believe it was half the price of the DA42, and when it comes down to it, it's half the plane in a lot of ways, and I'm not meaning that in a bad way. It's the DA42 from KAUG is a lot of plane, and you get an appropriate amount of plane for the price for this one. And there's just, I don't know, there's just something cool about it. I dig it. I like how it looks, like how it feels to fly. I like how everything is where you expect it to be for the most part if you've flown the DA42 or 62 a lot. So yeah. What else did we learn today? We learned that the air traffic control system has been taken over by demons that speak very slowly. And I don't know. The sim, maybe they're trying to make us really look forward to Flight Simulator 24 by making Flight Simulator 20 just complete garbage for the last 2 months before 24 comes out. I suppose that could be a strategy. But no, I'm hopeful that they actually fix it here soon. I thought about completely uninstalling and reinstalling the simulator, but I was reading online about other people that have had some of my same specific problems, and people had said that they tried that and it didn't work to fix it. So I think it needs to be something that comes from Asobo and Microsoft to get it under control. So anyway, who knows what we'll be doing for the next flight, considering who knows what planes we can use. But if it's another one of the lower 48, we're here in Augusta, Maine. It's as far east as we're ever going to get in this series of flights. So there's that. All right, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. It's Papa Whiskey Bravo signing off.